A lot of things now that looking back on it, I don't even know if it was real. It was just part of my imagination. It feels so real, like it feels real, like it actually happened. But now that I think back to it, it just doesn't feel logical. When I was a child, my imagination was very strong, like most children. A lot of us, when we're children, our imagination is like top notch. We can literally like, bro, our imagination is next level. But obviously, as you start to grow older, you lose all those magic, all those spark, all those colors, and everything just becomes black and white, or black and gray rather. But anyways, our imagination was so strong to the point that me and my brothers, basically, like, everything we did was almost imagination centric. We literally used to do this thing called imaginative play. So the concept is like, we'll come up with some sort of plot or storyline, then we'll just use our imagination to like be imagining the story as it's going along. For example, there's some guy and this guy is going to school. So my brother will not be like, then as he's going to school, some bad guys come out of nowhere and they come and rob him. And I'll be like, oh, but he has been practicing kung fu, so he uses the kung fu skills and takes down the bad guys. And my brother will be like, yes, he takes all of them down except the boss. Then the boss takes his school bag and runs away with it, or that type of stuff. So we'll just keep throwing ideas back and forth, and it was usually really fun. Those days, like, bro, those were some of the best childhood memories. But having an imagination so strong like that, even till today, still makes me question what was reality and what was imagination. There was this one time I vividly remember. So we're coming back from church. I remember I was in the car at the back seat. So the church service closed at maybe 7 p.m. or something like that. So my mom was the one driving. I was at the car at the back seat with my brothers, and they were all sleeping. So I was the only one that was awake, and I was looking to the sky. 7 p.m. everywhere is dark. It's supposed to be the moon that you'll be seeing. But I remember I saw the sun. And then the sun sets, like, everywhere was literally dark, like everywhere is pitch, like night time, and there was the sun up there. Then the sun now went down, then the moon came up to replace it. And you know the way it is in cartoons, like the way the sun would drop down from the sky, then the moon would now just go there to go and replace it. That was literally exactly what happened. And it was like in this very smooth, like 30 FPS animation type of stuff. Like, this looks so real, and I remember seeing it and it just felt right. Like, yeah, you know, it's night time, so the sun should goes down and the moon comes up at night. But now that I'm thinking back to it, like, that's just like, how the fuck, like, how does that work? The sun was literally up and everywhere is like dark, pitch black, and the sun literally went down and the moon came up and everywhere was still dark, and it's all happening in like, what, 10 seconds? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. But it feels so real that, like, I'm just still sitting down questioning, it's like, did I really see something like that? Did that really happen? Or my head is just fucking with me. Another two I remember is we're in school. So 2 incidents like that. So the very first one, we're in school, like we're in class, all of us sitting in class, you know, teacher teaching everybody. Then all of a sudden we started to hear this noise, like engines. So it was like helicopters that were passing by. So all of us ran out of the class and, you know, ran to the field to see what was going on. And I remember, like, up to like maybe 20 military helicopters just flew like right above us. Like, they were just passing by, like up to 20 or 30 of them just passing. I don't know, maybe it was not exactly 20 or 30, but they were a lot. I remember all of us ran out and we were just all like jumping and waving at them, like, oh, they should look at us. Then after, you know, 5 minutes or so that they all passed, we all went back to the class to continue. But now that I'm thinking back to that time, such a thing never really happened, because the helicopters, it seemed like they were flying so low, like they were not flying extremely high up. Like, they were pretty high obviously, but not so high, like they were still at a reasonably low level. And also, why would 20, 30 helicopters fly past our primary school in like some small town, bro? Like, were they going to fight war? And even if they were going to fight war, like, why past our school? And not just 1, not 2, not 5, like literally up to 20 of them. And they were all military helicopters. Like, why exactly did they pass through our school? So maybe this one might be real. You know, I'm not so sure. It might just be my imagination fucking with me again. But this very last one, I'm very sure. Like, I have strong conviction that this one was real, because I like it feels so real, and I remember being conscious. In all these incidents I've mentioned now, it's probably like, what, within 5 to 10 years old, thereabouts, if not from this. No, probably 5 to 10 years old, thereabouts. So this particular one, I remember I was in primary 1. So I think primary 1, you're usually like 6 or 7 years old, you know, compare that to whatever part of the world they're watching this in, however the education system works in that part. I was around 6, 7 years old, thereabouts. And I remember it was like break time. So our school then will have like normal break. That's like the normal school period break. And after like the normal school period is over, we'll now have like an additional 1 or 2 hours for lesson. So before that additional 1 or 2 hours, there will be another break. So that other break, when we were waiting, I remember like it was break time, so everybody's up around playing, running in the field, just playing big children. So I remember I was also in the field there playing. I was playing, my brother was also in the field playing with his people. I remember everything was windy as well. So like it was really, really windy. Almost as if rain wanted to fall. So after playing for a while, I think I went back to my class to go and get something. So I think whether I went to drink water, I went to eat the food my mom packed for me, whatever I went to do, I can't really remember. I actually went to the class to do something. And I remember when I was in the class, one of the windows now broke. So the window broke. I was the only one in the class. Everybody had left to go for break time to go play. So I was the only one in the class, and one window just broke all of a sudden. So I was like kind of startled, like, what was that? The window broke because of the wind. Like the wind was really, really picking up. So I remember as I looked towards the window, like far in the distance, like there were mountains. So the town we lived in at the time, like there were a lot of mountains that like surrounded it. And one of those mountains, far in the distance, I remember I saw like a giant wind. It was just spinning, something like a tornado, like it was literally just spinning, or a hurricane. It was like on the top of the mountain. It literally looked like all those, will I say like the movies? So I was like, will I say real life? I don't know. It looks real. Like it was really literally spinning, and it was just up there on one of those mountains, really far away. And then it's now clicked to me that, whoa, this wind that was, wherever that was windy was because of this tornado or whatever that thing was that was spinning up there. I remember I saw it and I was like, oh my god. And I ran to my brother back in the field to like, oh my god, come and see this thing, like look at what I saw, like this going to be. Yeah, as usual, my brother he didn't really care because he was probably like 8 years old or something. So he continued playing and I just joined him and we both just carried on playing. It's also crazy, like which type of play did we even do? See, we'll just go and play. Like which type of play, what exactly play? That one, once again, now that I think about it, it's like, how real is this? Because in Nigeria, at least in this part of the world, Africa region, like for natural disasters to occur is extremely rare. So stuff like tornado, earthquake, and things of that nature, it's like it's almost impossible for it to happen. Not to say it's impossible, it's definitely possible, but the possibility is like tiny. So how come like I saw a giant tornado on the mountain? But at the same time, it feels so real, and I remember it so vividly that could this be my imagination? Anyways, we'll probably never know. And it's also just quite sad that as we grow older, we just tend to lose like that spark, that optimism, that joy as children. Like children, like everything is just fun. Like life is just fun, happy, play, cheerful, joyful. And as we grow older to become adults, we just become the opposite of that: sad, depressed, miserable, anxious, scared, angry. It's quite sad. I don't know if maybe there's any real value in this story I just told. Probably not, but I think maybe if there's any value, like just try to regain like your childishness, would I say. I don't completely get rid of it. Obviously, there are a lot of things you want to be serious for in life and all that, but there are some things you should just kind of keep. Like you should have that childlike energy, that childlike optimism, that smile on your face. Like when you're walking in on the road and you see a mud puddle, rather than just walking around it, like just jump over it. You'll see some leaves, just like just do childish stuff again. Like it's really make life feel a little more fun and a lot less dark than its current state.